I know one thing about China. There, the word impossible has a different meaning in the dictionary. In the rest of the world, that word is the end of a sentence. The closing of a door. The shelving of a project. In China, however, that word is only the starting point. The moment engineers sit down at their desks, pens touch paper, and the clock starts ticking. Today you see the result of those moments. Structures straight out of science fiction films. Projects that push the boundaries of human ingenuity. And stories rarely told to the outside world. Beijing Daxing Airport. Not a seahorse, a starfish. And that's not an aesthetic choice. It's a functional solution. The starfish form solves the core problem of mega airports, walking distance from the gate to check-in. At Daxing, no point is more than 600 meters from the main terminal. Total investment, $11 to $12 billion. Designed to handle 100 million passengers per year. If China's economy keeps growing and opening up, this airport will be a shining crown. If not, a colossal energy-hungry structure waiting for passengers. History hasn't decided yet. Chimelong Ocean Kingdom, Zhuhai. 49 million liters of water. 22.7 million liters in a single aquarium tank. Whale sharks swimming inside. On opening day, Chimelong Ocean Kingdom didn't simply open its doors. It shattered 5 Guinness World Records. Simultaneously. A force challenging Disney and Universal. A world created on Chinese soil, built by Chinese engineers, designed by Chinese imagination. If you dipped your hands into that water, could you even hold that much? Chongqing. Imagine a city. Thousands of skyscrapers. On steep hillsides. 8-level winding roads. And inside all that chaos, millions of people, working, living, climbing up, coming down. This is Chongqing. And it's not an accident, it's a choice. No other country would dare transform a rugged, mountainous landscape into a megacity this fast. China did. And then turned it into a tourism brand. Chongqing isn't surreal. It's the point where reality overflows the boundaries of logic. Gate to the east, Suzhou. 301 meters. 2 towers. A bridge between them. A modern interpretation of a traditional Chinese city gate. Where cultural heritage meets the future. Architects said soft curves and cultural heritage. When the frame was finished, the public said the big pants. Every iconic structure earns a nickname. This one earned its. And now it's the symbol of Suzhou. Gupitan ship lift. Picture a ship. 500 tons. Now lift it. In 10 to 15 minutes. Then again. Then again. 3 consecutive vertical elevators. The 3 gauges ship lift could raise a 3,000-ton vessel 113 meters in a single operation. Gupitan broke the record for height and complexity. When money, technology, and political will converge, geographical impossibility ceases to exist. Guangzhou Circle. 138 meters tall. 33 floors. And a 48-meter hole through the middle. A giant concrete ring. A colossal zero standing upright. Designed by Italian architect Joseph di Pasquale, but the soul running through it is entirely Chinese. Ancient coins, yin-yang balance, feng shui, and the philosophy of round sky, square earth, all converging in this single form. In 2014, Xi Jinping publicly criticized this kind of bizarre architecture. This building is a product of exactly the era he was criticizing. And it's still standing. Because sometimes what's controversial is what gets remembered. Hong Kong Zhuhai and Macau Bridge. $18 to $20 billion. At least 18 workers killed during construction. Scandals over falsified concrete quality test data. And yet, it stands. Once dismissed as a terrible waste of money, the project is now slowly proving its long-term economic value. High cost. Low short-term gain. Zero transparency. But the bridge is there. Traffic flows. And it remains the most concrete symbol of China's "the world can't weaken" mentality. Jiangsu Rudong offshore wind farm. Tidal zone. Water levels constantly shifting. Mud when dry. 5 meters deep when flooded. In a region ships could barely reach, China erected massive turbines. Developed specialized barges. Designed custom lifting equipment. Result: a major share of Jiangsu's 13.49 gigawatt offshore wind capacity comes from these clusters. Billions of kilowatt-hours of clean energy every year. Millions of tons less carbon dioxide. Turbines planted in impossible ground, spinning a possible future. Phoenix Center, Beijing. Imagine a strip. It bends. It twists. It passes over itself. It returns to where it started, but now there's no beginning, no end. The Mobius Strip, the Phoenix Center, standing at the southwest corner of Beijing's Chaoyang Park, is exactly that idea cast in concrete and steel. 65,000 square meters. 55 meters tall. And not a single foreign architect involved. Step inside and an infinite sense of space hits you. Asymmetric steel skeleton, spiral staircase, seamlessly flowing interior. While your mind tries to figure out where it ends and where it begins, your body has already gotten lost inside. This isn't a building. This is a question mark. Raffles City, Chongqing. 300 meters long. 12,000 tons. Horizontal. There's no other way to describe the crystal, the structure placed atop four towers. No UFO landed in this city. But they built something remarkably close. Now add this: Chongqing sits in a seismically active zone. Built on steep slopes. And engineers didn't permanently attach this 12,000-ton steel structure to the towers. They slid it onto seismically isolated supports. When an earthquake hits, instead of staying rigid, the structure moves in a controlled way. Madness is sometimes just another name for the smartest engineering. Sheraton Huzhou. Architect Ma Yangsong wasn't trying to design a cake. He drew inspiration from the ancient stone bridges in Chinese ink paintings. Elegant. Ancient. Poetic. The internet had other ideas: Horseshoe Hotel. Donut Hotel. 27 floors. Total investment, $1.5 billion. $55 million per floor. An absurd number even by ultra-luxury standards. But when that silhouette rises over Lake Taihu. Taklamakan Desert Highway. The Sea of Death. The world's second-largest shifting sand desert. 85% of its area made up of constantly moving dunes. Building a permanent road here is like trying to draw a straight line on a rippling surface of water. By the engineering theories of the last century, this was madness. China did it. And now operates it systematically. The Great Green Wall. Started in 1978. Projected to continue until 2050. A green belt 4,500 kilometers long. Built to stop the sands of the Gobi Desert from reaching Beijing. More than 66 billion trees planted so far. When completed, it would increase the world's forest area by roughly 10% compared to the 1970s. But what do your hands feel right now? Because Western scientists are asking valid questions. Trees planted in unsuitable soil don't grow. Trees planted to hit targets get abandoned. Mortality rates are high. Is this project humanity's greatest ecological dream, or its greatest statistical illusion? The answer hasn't been written yet. The Great Wall of China. It began in the 7th century BC. Total length, 8,850 kilometers. But the numbers aren't enough to tell this story. Millions of civilians, soldiers, prisoners, and farmers. In the harshest conditions imaginable. Rammed earth, stone, brick, and even sticky rice mortar used as binding. Still solid, 600 years later. This isn't a wall. This is human will, turned to stone. Yashi Expressway, Sichuan. A road above the clouds. Launched in 2007, the project cost over 20 billion yuan. In a remote and brutally rugged mountain region, engineers faced 12 seismic fault zones, hundreds of underground caves, erupting groundwater springs. Every obstacle demanded its own solution. Every solution demanded its own courage. In the end, the Yashi Expressway won China's most prestigious civil engineering honor, the James T. Yao Award. A poem written in steel and concrete, etched into the mountains of Sichuan. Stop. Just 1 second. How many times did you think, how is this even possible, while watching this video? And how many times did you think, why has no one ever told me this? That's exactly why you're here. And exactly why we keep going. Which structure shocked you the most? Write it in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And if you're wondering, is there more I haven't seen yet? The answer is yes. So much more. Planet on Edge. We tell you what the world forgot to tell you.